Hello, and welcome to my presentation of Module 1, Information Security by Tonya Nicole Williams for CS40 at the University of West Alabama. What is information security? Information security is designed to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of computer system data from those with malicious intentions. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability are sometimes referred to as the CIA triad of information security. This triad has evolved into what is commonly termed the Picarian hexad, which includes confidentiality, possession or control, integrity, authenticity, availability, and utility. Next, we're going to discuss the CIA triad individually. First is confidentiality. It is the protection of information and is roughly equivalent to privacy. Methods of protection examples are data encryption. IDs and passwords are standard. However, most things require two-factor authentication. Also, biometric verification, security tokens, key fobs, or soft tokens are other options to protect your confidentiality. Next, we will discuss integrity. Integrity involves maintaining the consistency, accuracy, and trustworthiness of data over its life cycle. There are some steps that we can take to ensure that our data cannot be altered by unauthorized people. Those include file permissions, user access controls, and a new thing called version control, which prevents erroneous changes or accidental deletion by unauthorized users. Also, backups must be available to restore any affected data to its current state. Lastly is availability. Availability is best ensured by rigorously maintaining all hardware, performing hardware repairs immediately when needed, and maintaining a correctly functioning operating system environment that is free of software conflicts. It is important to keep current with all system upgrades, provide adequate communication bandwidth, prevent the occurrence of bottlenecks, and provide fast and adaptive disaster recovery. Why is information security important? In the age of the Internet, protecting our information has become just as important as protecting our property. Protecting both physical and digital information from destructive or unauthorized access is paramount. There are many things that could be considered information that we need to protect. Our personal, medical, or financial records, emails, or social media posts that are intended only to or for our friends or family, Internet passwords, credit card numbers, and banking information, as well as family photographs, videos, or other documents that we do not want others to see. Next, we will discuss regulatory compliance. There are several laws on the books currently that deal with regulation of privacy. The Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, or HIPAA, mandates that specific administrative and technological policies and procedures must be in place to ensure the security of health data that is stored electronically. Additionally, there is the Graham-Leach-Bliley Act, enacted in 1999, which specifies that any financial institution that provides financial products or services to consumers must comply with certain privacy restrictions. Also, there is the California SB 1386 Identity Protection Bill, which requires companies to encrypt personal data and that individuals whose identities have been compromised must be notified of the violation. And lastly, there is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, or FERPA, which requires that student information cannot be revealed and that aggregated student information cannot be disclosed for groupings of students numbering less than 10, for fear that this could lead to individual identification of the student. Next, we will discuss examples of enforcement of information security. First, we will discuss Apple. For its customers' protection, Apple doesn't disclose, discuss, or confirm security issues until an investigation has occurred and patches or releases are available. They offer continuous updates of iOS, and their latest version that's available is the iOS 12.1.4. Windows is another company and it is information protection is known as Windows Information Protection, WIP, and is previously known as Enterprise Data Protection, or EDP, and it helps to protect against the potential data leakage without otherwise interfering with the employee experience, protects enterprise apps and data against accidental data leakage, and enterprise-owned devices and personal devices that employees bring to work without requiring changes to the environment or other apps. Another data protection technology, Azure Rights Management, works alongside WIP to extend data protection for data that leaves the device, such as when an email attachment is sent from an enterprise-aware version of a rights management mail client. And lastly, we're going to discuss Cisco, which is available and used by most telephone companies. Our telephone system at Mobile County Public Schools utilizes Cisco, and they provide their customers with advanced malware protection, cloud and email security, multi-factor authentication, threat response, network visibility and segmentation, security management, and web security. Here are some examples of some security breaches. The first company we're going to discuss is known as Exactus. They are a Florida-based marketing and data aggregation firm, and they were exposed with a data breach containing nearly 340 million individual records. The breach was discovered in June 2018 when a security researcher found the data exposed on an unprotected server that allowed public access. The data included 230 million customer records and 110 million business contacts. The number represented essentially every adult in the United States of America. The data didn't contain Social Security numbers or credit card information. However, it did include other types of personally identifiable information, such as phone numbers, home addresses, and email addresses, all of the information needed by a criminal to commit identity theft. Each consumer record also contained more than 400 variables that could be used to build a detailed personal profile of the individual. This included information such as hobbies, purchasing habits, marriage status, religious and political affiliation, vices, and pet ownership. Another company we're going to discuss is the ever-known Facebook. In September 2018, Facebook announced that an attack on its computer network exposed the personal data of over 50 million users. According to Facebook, hackers were able to gain access to the system by exploiting a vulnerability in the code used for the View As feature. Once this feature was exploited, the attackers were able to steal access tokens, which could be used to take over users' accounts and gain access to other services. The breach also affected third-party apps connected to Facebook, and as a precautionary measure, the company logged 90 million users out of their accounts and reset the access tokens. The security breach is the largest in the company's 14-year history and topped off a very turbulent year, which saw the company deal with the fallout from the Cambridge Analytica scandal and the ongoing allegations that the platform was used in Russian disinformation campaigns. The Irish Data Commission has subsequently opened a formal investigation into the breach, which could result in a fine of up to $1.63 billion for the social media giant. The next business we're going to discuss is Cathay Pacific. This Hong Kong-based airline suffered the world's largest aviation security breach after the data of up to 9.4 million passengers was exposed. The breach was announced in October 2018, but took place in March 2018 when hackers gained access to 860,000 passport numbers, 245,000 Hong Kong identity card numbers, 403 expired credit card numbers, and 27 card numbers with no CVV card verification codes. The full data exposed in the breach included passenger names, nationality, date of birth, address, telephone number, email address, passport number, identity card numbers, frequent flyer membership numbers, customer service comments noted on their accounts, and historical travel information. The airline faced severe criticism for its 7-month delay in reporting the breach, and Hong Kong's privacy commissioner has since launched a compliance investigation stating the carrier may have violated privacy rules. Next, we will discuss Dixon's car phone. In June 2018, Dixon's car phone revealed a major data breach involving 5.9 million bank cards and the personal data of up to 10 million customers. The hacked data include names, addresses, and email addresses. The electronics retailer announced that in a review of its systems, it uncovered an attempt to gain unauthorized access to 5.9 million cards in one of the processing systems of Currys PC World in Dixon's travel stores. The company said there was no evidence of fraud as the majority of cards were protected by chip and pin and card verification value, or CVV systems. However, around 105,000 non-EU cards without chip and pin were compromised in the attack. When the group first reported the breach, they estimated that the data of up to 1.2 million customers was compromised, but the number has now jumped up to 10 times more than initially thought. British Airways. In another attack on the aviation industry, British Airways announced that a major security breach had exposed the personal data of 380,000 customers. The airline confirmed that over a 2-week period, the personal and financial details of customers making or changing bookings had been compromised. The breach took place between August 21st and September 5th, 2018, and within this time frame, hackers were able to gain access to names, addresses, email addresses, credit card numbers, expiration dates, and security codes. Travel and passport details were not affected by the breach. The airline recently disclosed that the data of a further 185,000 customers who made reward bookings between April 21st and July 28th was also exposed, bringing the total number of affected customers to 565,000. Where should our data be stored? Protection of our data, whether it's online or offline, is paramount. When we're saving our data online, we need to make sure that we are saving to a secure site with an HTTPS precursor in the address bar. And what I mean by that is if you're shopping online, if you're filling out information online, whether it's a medical situation or whether you are completing a profile on anything, just make sure that it is HTTPS certified at the top of your address bar. We can also utilize the cloud or other service, but we need to make sure that the password is encrypted and that it asks for your verification each time you log in. We also need to make sure that we're changing our passwords often. Additionally, we can utilize external hard drives, USB flash drives, CDs, DVDs, or Blu-rays as a method of backup. And I found this little cartoon, and it says, the boss is worried about information security, so he sends his messages one alphabet letter at a time in a random sequence. I thought that was hilariously funny. I hope you've enjoyed this PowerPoint presentation. This slide is just to document the references that I used in the creation of this PowerPoint.